Evening. I'm Sharon Sanders Brooks, a contributor to Cascade Media Corporation. This evening, I would like to discuss briefly a U.S. Supreme Court case which will be heard by the justices on Wednesday, October the 15th, and why it's important. On Wednesday, October the 15th, the U.S. Supreme Court will hear the case Louisiana versus Callis. It is a redistricting case, and many of us have heard about redistricting a great deal this year due to redistricting efforts being conducted at the 5-year mark instead of the usual 10-year mark after the U.S. Census has been conducted. Why this case is important, it pertains to Section 2 of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. Brief background. In 2022, African Americans in the state of Louisiana sued the state because even though African Americans make up 1/3 of the population of the state of Louisiana, they only occupied one congressional seat out of the 6 congressional seats the state is allocated due to population. Well, the state of Mississippi, I almost said Missouri, the state of Mississippi did redraw the maps, and as a result of that, 2 majority-minority districts were created. After this occurred, non-African Americans sued the state of Mississippi, alleging potential violations of the 14th and or 15th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Well, on Wednesday, October the 15th, the justices will hear their argument, and it pertains to Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Some years ago, the U.S. Supreme Court gutted Section 5 of the U.S. Supreme Court Voting Rights Act, which was a pre-clearance provision. Now we have Section 2. There are those that stated if the U.S. Supreme Court rules in favor of the non-African American plaintiffs, approximately 30 members of the Congressional Black Caucus could potentially lose their congressional seats. You can listen to the U.S. Supreme Court oral argument via via the site supremecourt.gov. You can only listen to the oral arguments because cameras are not allowed in the U.S. Supreme Court. The case will be heard at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Once again, that's 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Oral arguments will last only 1 hour. The justices will render their decision in June. If you are interested in learning about more Supreme Court cases that the U.S. Supreme Court will hear this session, I encourage you to download this free document. It's by Democracy Forward. It is called The People's Guide to the U.S. Supreme Court 2025 through 2026 term. It is an easy-to-read document. Easy to read. It is not in legalese. I plan to listen to the oral arguments tomorrow, and after I listen to the arguments and ponder what I hear, I would like to come back and share my thoughts. But once again, redistricting is a critical issue, and the Voting Rights Act is a very important piece of legislation. I thank you once again. This is Sharon Sanders Brooks for Cascade Media.
This is brought to you by Kansas City Business Association, working to improve our community.